I haven't eaten in 3 days. I can't open my new smart fridge without solving a CAPTCHA, and it's just like, I'm not a robot, but I don't know if I clicked this square or not, and I'm just stressing the fuck out, dude. Hi, I'm Joel, and I'm here to add absolutely nothing unique to the conversation about AI. Oh look, the little baby YouTuber's here to talk about AI. I'm sure he's gonna have a super interesting opinion. I know, I get it, I know. Pop off my boner, dog. I'm just here to yap, man. I remember when I saw the movie Her starring Joaquin Phoenix and ScarJo, and I thought it was the greatest movie of all time. And then I told my dad that, and he said, isn't that the one where the dude from Brother Bear fucks his computer? I mean, in the 1900s, Benedict Cumberbatch, otherwise known as Alan Turing, created the Turing machine, which was then used to crack the German Enigma code in World War II. Due to the huge impact it had on the Allied front, it very quickly solidified in people's minds the intelligence of Alan Turing and the value that these computational devices, or computers, had. Later on in life, he had this theory or idea or like mentality or fucking something where essentially he said that if a computer can be consistently confused with a human, then the question should be posed, is it intelligent? The Turing test has since become a litmus test that has stuck around to this day. It's very interesting to see what people in the past thought AI would be used for in the future, just to physically be there today and know that it's really just used for this.
Chat, I have been named in the Diddy case. I swear. I only went to one party, and when things got weird, I dipped out of there.
I did see the stash of baby oil, but I did not participate in any freak-offs.
A little bit after ChatGPT was released, YouTuber Casey Neistat released a video entirely composed by AI. His prompt made sure that the AI would spit out a full script, shot list, and setting, which Casey would then go out to produce to the best of his ability. I shouldn't need to say this, but that video was just poop. It's sign language for poop. I have a microphone in my hand, but this is sign language for poop. This has been a recurring theme with AI, where there's been a lack of nuance and emotion in this thing that they're quote unquote creating. These things output by the AI feel like cheap copies of true art, but this hasn't stopped people from using it in less than honest ways. There are people out there charging money for the art that they create with AI. And there's even artists with complete discographies on Spotify that are entirely fabricated just to buff up numbers and increase money input with the company. And when the Writers Guild of America went on strike, one of their leading demands was to restrict the use of AI in the film industry and the writing process, which is like the plot of a movie. I can't be the only one that sees the irony in this. Being a creator myself, I absolutely detest AI. I make music, I write short films, I do OnlyFans, I even have this whole YouTube thing going on. If AI tries to take over these outlets that I have, then I would I don't know, eat my shoe. I don't know why I said that. Point being, save for a couple parts here and there with access to tools and stuff, I stay away from the thing. That is, until a couple days ago, I resubscribed to a website that I use for content creation called Epidemic Sound. I pay up for another year because it's a good service, and then I completely forget about it. Then, a couple days ago, I reopened the website just to notice that they added AI voiceover. I very quickly regretted my decision to resubscribe. I personally couldn't cope with the fact that a website geared towards creators would use AI in this way, until I read some of the fine print and was pleasantly surprised with how they went about doing it for their platform. But that's a conversation for later. The whole situation made me curious to do some more research. What is AI? Who is AI?
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
I'm just nosy. I want to learn some more shit, and I had no idea what to do for my next video. So I don't know, dog. This is my video on AI. What's up? Although it may not be in the same way that I was talking about, AI has been around for a long time. I, of course, mean with video games. Most people think that Pong, created by Atari, was the first video game ever made. But that's where you're wrong. What are you, fucking stupid? Stupid little baby? What, you're gonna cry because I called you a little fucking baby? Little baby? The first true occasion of utilizing a machine to play a game happened in 1939 with the Chinese-inspired game NIM. It's essentially a game where you gotta get rid of all the matches, not be the last person to get rid of a match, be the last person to get rid of a match. I don't get it. I'm employed. But it's very interesting because within the first 6 months of it being created, only a few people could beat the machine. And even to this day, unless you train to know the optimal strategy, an overwhelming majority of people would lose against the program. In the 86 years since, AI in gaming has only snowballed. Some people take issue with the specific wording in that situation. In video games, the computer will decide what to do based on the player's current and possible future actions. And depending on the programming, it can quote unquote learn from the player. In the game Shadow of Mordor, they created and controversially trademarked the Nemesis system. This is a feature in game where NPCs will learn and grow based off of the player's action. But I'm saying a bunch of fancy words, so we're gonna move to a more condensed and entertaining description of the Nemesis system.
Bro, the Nemesis system is crazy. You skibidi stomp some random orc, then Blood really thinks he's on that Sigma Alpha Omega grind set. Next time you see him, he's leveled up, got goofy arc scars, and pulls up hitting the griddy, full of riz and revenge. It basically gives NPCs Giga Riz, so they remember every L and come back like quirked up white boys who bust it down sexual style. Whole thing ends up Livy Dunn rizzing up Baby Gronk levels of unexpected main character energy. Based system for real.
The University of Notre Dame defines AI as any technology or machine that can perform complex tasks that are typically associated with human intelligence, which is cool, but ever since ChatGPT released, the definition of AI has kind of been blurred, and it's not necessarily used in the way that it should be. AI washing is becoming more and more prevalent every single day. It's essentially when a company will use the term AI to seem more hip and cool to attract investors or possible customers. Good example of this is with Coca-Cola. They announced that they were releasing a limited time drink called Y3000, which was supposed to be like this cool and hip and like totally fucking dope collaboration between the scientists at Coca-Cola and AI. But some people heard that and posed the question, what the fuck is an AI drink? Many people started asking questions like, how can AI make a drink? It can't. What would an AI drink taste like? A jelly bean, apparently. Where can I buy this? Coke was using the term AI to try to make their new drink seem fancy and progressive, but in reality, it felt fake and disingenuous because it was. And they're not the only company to do this. Many types of apps like DaVinci Resolve Studio, which I'm using to edit this video right now, use the term to try to describe a feature that, in reality, is just advanced programming. AI learns and it improves and is supposed to snowball into being better and better with the more that is used. But these features in these apps are very much not that. But it's cool to say. It attracts attention and it makes money. So, this video is brought to you by AI. When ChatGPT released in late 2022, it wasn't necessarily, como se dice, very fucking good. A lot of what could be produced at the time was very messy and gross. You know, like people made their Snapchat say racial slurs. Like, I mean, that part was kind of funny, but the rest of it though. The foundation of AI is being able to grow and learn from what it's being fed, whether that be prompts that users give it or music, news articles, and photos that are fed into the engine for it to digest. Since then, AI has been able to go from being able to make Will Smith eat spaghetti to make Will Smith eat spaghetti in HD. But something that I want to talk about is called the AI singularity. In tech, this is when AI surpasses the general human intelligence and it can then create problems, find answers, and overall grow from it. There are two aspects to this theoretical point in time. There is, of course, the point that I mentioned where it continues to grow past human intelligence, but on the other side, there's the theory that AI will exponentially face a decrease in the amount that it learns until it matches the level of human capability. This essentially keeps it on par or just below what we are capable of because it can only learn from the things that we feed it. Let me give an example. Imagine there's this mysterious color that doesn't exist called Updog. What's Updog, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. In scenario 1, we have an AI that has grown past human capability. And in scenario 2, we have an AI that cannot learn anything above what we feed it. In scenario 1, AI finds out what Updog is first. It creates art with it, it distributes it, it shows it to us so now we can use it in our everyday life. But we have scenario 2 as well, where AI has no idea what Updog is until we discover it. From there, we feed it into the AI engine and it can do whatever it wants with it, but it can never learn what it is until we tell it. I personally subscribe to the theory that we kind of sit in a middle point between scenario 1 and scenario 2. In situations relating to science and math, of course technology will someday surpass us. It can think quicker and it can make less mistakes when given the proper resources. But with creatives, it is not so simple. AI can learn and learn and learn, but at the end of the day, it can only try to mimic emotion and feeling that we express naturally. A robot can't fear for its life in the same way a human does. It can only be programmed to try to mimic the same reactions that we have when faced in a life or death scenario. Therefore, it can't create music or art or film in the same way that we can that derives from the soul, because it has none. And that's why so many creators are anti-AI, because it's being used to replace people's jobs, but it's producing a half-baked product with nothing at its core. And another thing, if AI tries to learn from itself but makes a mistake, then it will taint all of the outputs that come from it in the future. I like kissing my cousins just as much as the next guy, but when technology does it, that's the line.
And the only person you can't marry is your cousins.
On TikTok, there's a musician named Oliver Richmond who's doing a challenge where he creates a new song every single day. Super impressive. He's been doing it for almost 600 days as of writing this, but on day 576, he wrote a song about a video that he saw. It's a simple video, some bunnies jumping on a trampoline, fucking fine, cool, whatever, I don't care. But the kicker is, it wasn't real. AI was used to create this video that was so convincing that it tricked an overwhelming majority of the people that watched it. There were many instances of things posted on Facebook and Twitter about the people running for president that motherfuckers just took as fact. I like spreading misinformation on the internet just as much as anybody else. There's a fine line that we crossed a long time ago where it's just like, maybe we should listen to movies and we shouldn't use AI, right? Right? No? Okay, I'll just go fuck myself then, dick. So to get to the topic that sparked the initial idea of this video, how do I use AI in creatives ethically? It's a slippery slope. If you ask certain people, they'll go with the hard and fast answer of, are you stupid? Why are you talking to me? AI sucks. And as the late great Brad Pitt once said,
Suck a bag of dicks, lady.
Fuck you sideways, sir.
but then again, you could ask other people and they would say,
AI art is sometimes the only way people with disabilities and people who were born with no talent can make art.
hey guys, Future Joel here. I forgot to record this part during filming, but this video is an example of an excuse people use when defending AI. It's just a cop-out though, because people with disabilities make up an overwhelming minority of users of AI. In reality, it's just an excuse others use to justify not putting in work to get better at a craft. But I don't necessarily think it's that black and white. AI can be a useful tool when used in creative fields. It, however, should not be used as the form of creation. Recently, YouTube has been cracking down on faceless channels that are on their platform. You know, the ones with Minecraft parkour and a generic AI voice reading off stories from Reddit that are stolen. Wait, you're saying it's bad to steal people's stories off of Reddit? Good thing I never did that.
Did I? 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 Did I do?
Speaking of the voiceover, that brings up the topic that I initially wanted to talk about. In the beginning of the video, I mentioned Epidemic Sound and the recent implementation of AI voiceover to the features that are offered in their annual subscription. From face value, it would seem like this is something bad, and it could be, depending on how you look at it. Epidemic Sound released a statement about the voiceover feature that, in my opinion, changes the it makes it good. There are two key points that the website has used to show that they intend on maintaining creative integrity while implementing this new feature. Number one, they pay an upfront fee for the service of the actors. Of course, they gotta pay for their time when they come in and format their voices for the technology. But more importantly, number two, voice actors will earn residuals annually based on the popularity of their voice. The more people use their voice, the more they get paid. Very similar to how other actors get paid residuals for reruns of their show on cable TV. If you're still not convinced, let me go more in depth. Imagine a low-end creator working on a project with a very limited budget. For what they want to do, they want to have a voiceover. However, they don't have enough money to pay for a commission, and they don't have any friends that can work for little to no pay. Should they do the voiceover themselves despite not having any training and risk having a shitty product? Or should they use this AI voiceover offered by this subscription service that they have? Most people would say using the AI voiceover. However, I realize that the same argument would be used by the same motherfuckers that are like, oh, well, untalented people should just use AI to create things that they want to. The kicker here is the creator is still paying for the service. The voice actor is still getting paid for their work in the booth, and overall, both parties are still benefiting. It's utilizing a tool to allow for creativity. However, the voice itself is not the creativity, as it can only read off the script that is given to it. And more importantly, it is not replacing the job of a performer, it is the job of the performer. That was a lot. The point that I'm trying to get at is it can be beautiful to create. Music has influenced many. So have books and art. It evokes emotion because it comes from emotion. Even something as simple as a photo is taken because someone saw something and they felt like it was worthy of capturing. Keep in mind, this video was just things that I grabbed from here and there, right? I'm just playing devil's advocate, bro. Will I ever use this shit? Probably not. I would never choose to, but I can understand arguments that people would make for why they would. I got nothing else. Like and subscribe. Love you. Bye. Thank you for watching my new YouTube video. Like and subscribe.